So what is good, people? Welcome to another investing video, and in this video we are talking about the price of silver. I got the silver continuous contract pulled up on Google Finance, and silver has been doing incredibly well this past month. It is up almost 16%. What we're going to do in this video, we're going to look at the price of silver, kind of look at the catalyst for starting to rise and whether or not this is going to keep going. There's an article that I pulled up that's talking about how experts are saying that silver might actually hit $30 an ounce this year, and it's kind of looking like it's true. So first off, let's have a look at the chart. We can see that there was a little bit of a dip back in early March, and then right on March 10th, now this is when SVB Bank collapsed, and so this was kind of the catalyst that lifted everything up when people just started buying silver like crazy. I think it's kind of still the case right now. Silver is in really high demand. As a matter of fact, if we look at SD Bullion, you can see that they have a temporary order, a minimum of $500, and they actually released an update. This went out sometime last week. I actually got an email. But basically, if you haven't read it, it all talks about how they didn't expect such a high volume to come in after the announcement of the bank collapse. And they actually ordered, or actually not ordered, they actually hired more people. They hired more people to handle the demand because they are way behind right now. It says right here, as we write this, we are currently 7 business days behind our normal shipping time, which is 1 to 3 business days after your payment clears our account. For the time being, we're pausing additionally planned promotion on sale activities while we focus all our attention on servicing existing orders in the system. And so they're just basically trying to catch up. They're a whole week behind. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up is because usually what companies do when they experience really high demand is they'll do something temporary, right? They'll either just give more hours to their current employees, maybe they'll bring in some temporary employees, maybe they will just find a way to try to stick it out, apologizing to the customers, letting them know that they're going to be late. But ultimately, they believe that eventually things are going to go back to normal. However, SD Bullion, they did not do that. They didn't do that at all. SD Bullion actually decided to hire more staff. And so since they decided to hire more staff, that tells us that they believe this is not going to change, that this is just the way moving forward. If we read here, it says on March 10th, we all woke up to the news that Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, which sent a ripple effect through investors worldwide. There has been and continues to be a massive influx of demand on savvy investors who are now evaluating counterparties, including banks, in more scrutinizing fashion. The takeaways from the banking collapse has been clear. You don't own what you don't hold. As a company, we went from extremely busy but keeping up to all hands on deck overnight. Orders came in waves, and the amount of metal per order more than doubled. The bottom line is bigger orders take longer to ship than smaller orders. And so all this happened all at once, and since they are hiring more people to cover it, they believe that this is going to be the status quo going forward for precious metals. And Money Metals Exchange, they also have a high volume alert saying that you can expect 2 to 3 days in additional shipping time. So this is something that a lot of the online dealers are facing. APMEX also sent out an email. I don't have that pulled up, but they said the same thing, that they're having issues keeping items in stock. And if we jump to the CNBC article that I pulled up, and it says silver could hit a 9-year high of $30 per ounce this year and become a better performer than gold. Will it hit $30? That's kind of high, but they do give some really good points as to why they feel it will hit $30. So we start reading here. It says insufficient supplies of silver as well as the tendency to be a better performer than gold in periods of high inflation, are key drivers supporting the outlook, analysts told CNBC. Silver has historically delivered gains of close to 20% per annum in years of inflation high, or inflation is high. Given the track record and how cheap silver remains relative to gold, it wouldn't surprise to see silver head towards $30 per ounce this year, though that will likely offer significant resistance, said Janie Simpson, managing director at ABC Bullion. Now it goes in here talking a little bit about the silver shortage. I'm going to skip through some of that, and it's going to show right here talking about why it's so hard for silver to actually jump up ahead to catch up with the demand. And it says that demand is expected to grow more than 15% over the next 5 years. He said, hinging on accelerated industrial demand for automotive and electronic applications. Silver is a material commonly used in the manufacturing of automobiles, solar panels, jewelry, and electronics. We hit peak silver supply back about 5-6 years ago. Silver production on a worldwide basis has actually been dropping, and we're not seeing as much silver produced from the mines, said Randy Smallwood, president of Wheaton Precious Metals. According to the trade group, the Silver Institute, the supply of silver from mine production in 2022 was about 843.2 million ounces, which was still shy of the decade's peak of 900 million ounces back in 2016. The supply of silver, which is largely produced as a byproduct of lead, zinc, copper, and gold mines, does not generally respond as quickly to demand. When silver prices goes up, it's not like the silver mines can increase production, because silver mines only supply about 20% of the silver. Smallwood said, adding that the market often relies on the lead zinc mines to satisfy the higher demand. However, he maintained that while it wouldn't be surprising to see silver touch $30 per ounce, he does not think this price will hold. He calls for prices to stay comfortably over $20 per ounce. I'm very bullish on gold, but I'm even more bullish on silver, Smallwood said. So this was something interesting that I didn't know. According to this, only about 25% of silver production actually comes from silver mines. The rest of it actually comes as a byproduct of mining something else, whether it be lead, zinc, gold, something like that. And so because of this, whenever there's a high demand of silver, they can't just go out and meet that demand. And so the high demand actually lasts for a long period of time, which we have seen in the past. And so this is what everyone believes is going to drive the price of silver up even more. Now, I have done a little bit of research looking at past times when we've had bank failures. And yes, the prices of gold and silver do jump up high during bank failures. However, it takes some time. It usually takes about several months to a year, sometimes even 2 years, before the price of gold and silver actually reflects what's happening in the economy. And so I feel like, yes, the price of silver will continue to rise, but in order for us to actually see $30, it's probably going to take a few months. Probably not until way after a lot of the craziness that's going on with the CBDC and the BRICS nations and things like that, them trying to create a new reserve currency. And so I think those things are also going to play a role in what happens with silver. And so it's really hard to say if we're going to hit $30 and if we do, when. But I do believe that when we do hit $30, it's going to drop pretty quickly, because there's going to be a lot of people selling their silver in order to take advantage of that. And once we get more people selling, then of course the demand will go down, and we'll basically see the same cycle we saw back a couple years ago during the pandemic, when at first there was this huge silver squeeze, the premiums were going through the roof, and then once the price of silver went up, people started selling, things started to stabilize a little bit, price came back down, premiums came back down because the demand wasn't there anymore. So I see we're shortly heading towards another silver shortage. The price is going to skyrocket. Premiums have already skyrocketed. I released a video was it a week ago? I think it was about a week ago, talking about the silver premiums, especially on American Silver Eagles. They are out of control right now. I think they're still really high. American Eagles are going for about $40 right now. If you want to check out that video, I'll go ahead and throw up a card so you can take a look at that. It's doing pretty well. It's the highest viewed video on my channel, so I hope you guys are enjoying that. But that was pretty much it. This is just my thoughts on the price of silver, where it's going, why it's going this way, and how long I think it'll take before we hit 30. I still think it's going to be a few months before we can hit $30, closer towards the end of the year. But when it does, that's going to be a very exciting time for anyone holding silver. So thank you so much for watching this video. As always, I will catch you guys in the next video.